Welcome back to Some Offense Intended. I'm Jeremy Robinson.
I am Mike Mick.
I think I need to turn the sound down a little because we weren't talking how we normally do when we were testing it.
Yeah.
I feel miserable.
It shows.
I woke up today. I didn't want to wake up today, but I woke up today and just abs, like the start of aches, like stiff, don't want to do anything, like start coughing, like almost throwing up. Like
Yeah, something's going around. Somebody I worked with yesterday, she was feeling like that.
Yeah, so that's why the blanket today, because I'm not warm enough, apparently.
It's a little chilly in this room, though, too.
Really?
Yeah, I can feel it.
Oh.
Not too bad. Nothing I...
Because the TV's been on. Normally, when we keep the TV on, this room's fucking hot.
Yeah. Well, it's been cool outside today, too.
That's true. It did get really cold this morning.
But do we want to tell people that they should go ahead and follow us and like and subscribe?
Yeah. It's going to be difficult for me to remember stuff today with how I'm feeling. Was it Facebook and Instagram at Some Offense Intended?
Well, if they're hearing this, then hopefully they're listening to us and they can like and subscribe.
Twitter and TikTok at Some Offense Pod. YouTube, just search Some Offense Intended. And yeah, whatever you're listening to us on, was it Stitcher? What's that new one?
Pod Addict or something.
Yeah, that was like Podcast Addict. Whatever you're listening to us on, follow, subscribe. If it has the option, I think a lot of them do, like Apple, like iTunes, and I think Spotify have options to like leave reviews.
Yeah.
If you're listening and you like it, leave a review. If you don't like it, leave a review and tell us why, or maybe we can change something. Or
and if you subscribe,
it's a learning process.
Go ahead and sign up for notifications too.
Yeah.
So you don't miss an episode.
So I think I don't remember which order these are going to be in. This one's 2 weeks from now that this is going to drop.
Yeah.
So this one's like right after New Year's. This one's the 8th.
Yeah.
Okay. So
by the time this is out, there will have been a holiday. I'm not sure what's going to catch on.
Happy late New Year's.
Well, there's going to be a couple holidays in between.
So Mike had gotten me that shirt that was like turn your head sideways kind of shit. So I got Mike you can't really see it on the fucking camera. It's a Stormtrooper decanter with Stormtrooper rocks glasses.
And Mike is a Star Wars fan, so he loves it.
Yeah, if you can tell. Star Wars hat, the
shirt.
I find your lack of cheer disturbing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I'm on the Darth Bane book and the trilogy, and it's so good. He's fighting the guy, and actually, he's not really fighting him. He's using the Force to kill this guy, and he's like, at least let me draw my sword, my lightsaber, so we can fight like Sith. And he's like, do you think I can't beat you just as easily with my lightsaber? And he says, yeah, but at least I can have an honorable death. So Darth Bane is like, honors for the living. Dead is dead.
Wow.
So he continues to kill him.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
I think I've only read one Bane book. I can't remember.
Oh, I'm loving it. I'm looking forward to the next one.
So I also got this, and if I had actually woken up today, I would have installed it on the wall behind us, right about there somewhere. So,
but we are on air.
Oh Jesus! It's just like the light bulb. Can't see anything. It's just bright as fuck.
I guess we'll just have to put that outside the door so people know that we're we're on.
That's awful.
And to not be loud. Yeah, it's so bright. It washes it out.
Yeah. Well, we need better cameras then. It says on air, so you can actually see it with the light off. It says on air, and it looks dope in person, just like the light bulb looked dope in person.
Yeah.
I think we need to upgrade the camera next.
Yeah.
Because that's dumb.
Yeah,
we can't decorate fucking anything. We had a Christmas tree. You wouldn't be able to see the Christmas fucking tree over the Christmas lights.
You'd see lights. You'd be, why is there a blob of lights there?
Yeah, there's a pyramid of lights. I think they're in the Illuminati.
And if we had a menorah there, you couldn't even tell what that's for.
I don't think most people could tell what that's for anyway, unless they're Jewish.
Yeah, well, read a book.
I played dreidel for the first time.
I've never played dreidel.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like I just thought it was a fucking top.
And that's what I thought at first, but I learned it was a game.
Yeah, so there's 4 sides to it. I'm probably not going to be able to remember like what the 4 sides are called, but there's a symbol on all 4 sides. One of them is none. One of them is Gimel. One of them is shin, and one of them is it starts with like an HA. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it's basically like you play with chocolate coins.
Oh, I thought you were supposed to play with money.
I'm sure money either, but either way, that's a chocolate currency. And then you put like everybody puts one in the pot, and you spin it. And if you land on Gimmel, you take the whole pot, and everybody puts one back in. If you hit the one that's like HA something, you take half the pot. If you get none, it's the next person's turn. And if you get shin, you put one more in, and then it's the next person's turn. So you just go until everybody's out, except for one.
I think I've seen Krusty the Clown play it. I think I saw him at a casino playing it or something. Which that'd be a great casino game.
But there's no way they can stack it unless they load the dreidel, which is frowned upon apparently in casinos.
Yeah. That reminds me. Somebody that I work with recently was going on about how Vegas cheats at gambling. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
How Vegas cheats at gambling?
I'm like, do you understand who these corporations are? They're not going to risk their reputation taking a few bucks from you. That all the odds are already in their favor. They don't have to cheat.
Oh, see, I thought you meant they were cheating by having the odds in their favor. They're talking about more?
Yeah. Like rigging the games and shit. I'm like,
I mean, doesn't having the odds in their favor all the time count as rigging the game?
But I mean, like, let's say you're hot on craps, changing your dice and giving you loaded dice that aren't going to go in your favor, things like that.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure that happens sometimes.
But I'm just saying,
I wouldn't say it's a common.
But I wouldn't see Caesars or MGM, worldwide companies.
Now, I don't know. Because MGM charges for fucking parking when you're staying at the goddamn hotel.
They cheat you in other ways.
So those pieces of shit.
But they'll play you straight up when they're gambling.
Maybe.
Yeah, they were the first ones to actually start charging for parking in their garages.
Yeah, but they were. It used to be like for charging for like the public. But if you worked there,
if you're staying there, I don't think you should be having to pay to park.
Yeah, if you worked there, you're staying there. I thought it was free for a long time. I guess that fucking changed.
Yeah, when I worked at Bubba Gump, they had a parking lot behind Bubba Gump, but it was not allowed for us. Like if you worked at Bubba Gump and you parked in it,
you got written up.
No, you got towed. Like one day, like 3 or 4 people all got their cars towed, and they were told multiple times, if you park there, you will get towed. And they did it every day.
That's awful.
And then when they got their cars towed, they're like, what happened? Why did my car get towed? Well, we've been telling you for weeks. It's going to happen.
Thanks, Terry, for the blanket. This is the blanket that we got from the bowling.
I figured I was going to ask you that.
Yeah,
I was using the blanket I got from bowling also.
Yeah, it's nice, super warm, and it's not, because I have, this one's from Costco also. So the other one I have downstairs is from Costco, but it's the one that's like, there's nobody too tall. Like, it's Shaq's blanket.
Oh, I have one from Costco that's huge. Yeah, it's enormous.
This one's nice because it's almost the same as that blanket, but it's a manageable size. If you don't want to be lost in a blanket, which is important sometimes, but if you just want like a nice cozy blanket.
Well, if you're looking to build a blanket fort, the other one's a good one.
Oh, 100%. But there's actually a company that was started based on that premise. It's called like Blanket Fort.
Awesome.
And they have like, it's fucking stupid how big those blankets are. Like, here, I'll look them up because it's a not okay size. On
the show Community, they made a very big blanket fort. It's a good episode. They also made a pillow fort. It's really good because they end up having a civil war on campus.
Yeah, this is weird that this came up. I think I was talking to somebody about it this week or last week. That like I said something about a blanket and started getting these ads on Facebook of like inflatable blanket forts. A couple things. If it's inflatable,
it's not a blanket fort.
It's not a blanket fort. 2, way to kill kids' imagination because you have to use creativity and imagination to build a blanket fort.
Yeah.
If you just plug a fucking blower in.
Yeah, that's taking away a lot.
Yeah, that's fucking retarded. So, blanket fort, I probably should stop saying that as often as I do.
But like when I would make one of those.
So they started it, I think, in 2021. It was like 2021 lockdown sucked. No, didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
I was just saying when I had to make one, I didn't want to say the words again. because we've said it enough. But I had to figure out ways to get it to stay up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like balance it on the couches, like
Couches,
couch cushion
tie
supports
a
every so
rope,
often.
you know.
Yeah. So this says 2021 lockdown sucked for all the reasons. Even though some of it was good and positive, we got to spend time in the forest and by the river. We didn't have to commute, and we had an excuse not to go anywhere. But times blah blah blah. Oh, I thought it was actually going
Well,
back into something.
let me just say first, I didn't get a chance to spend any time in the forest or the woods. I still had to commute.
But that's not the company I was thinking of anyway.
That was all. No,
That was Blanket Fort Company, and that's bro. What? And that's they just do the one that like you put a tent post on the end of your bed, and it just like an old school cartoon tent kind of shit.
Yeah.
Blanket,
but yeah, none of those things were what I had.
Blanket Fort blankets.
We still had to go to work.
Yeah.
I couldn't work from home.
No, not at all. Bro, I know there's a company that did this. And it's not coming up at all. I should have brought more Kleenexes in here. I didn't think it was going to be this bad again already. So apparently I can't find that Blanket Fort company, which is stupid because now I'm going to get Blanket Fort ads for the next fucking month and a half.
Yep.
Well, that's a decent segue into this next thing. Do you remember the company Fruit of the Loom?
Yeah. Aren't they still a thing?
Yes. Do you remember their old logo?
Yeah.
What did it have in it?
It had apple. It had all the fruit.
The older logo though, like before that one. It had all the fruit, but it had something else in it.
I don't remember.
It had the cornucopia in the background.
Like all right, yeah.
The horn basket.
Yeah.
The horn of plenty. Apparently, Fruit of the Loom says that never happened at all. Like it's a big fight with them right now. So like there's this lady on TikTok, and like it's an unhealthy fight for her. You can tell she's like slightly obsessed with it. But I think there's a game to be played either way with that one. Of Fruit of the Loom is claiming that it was never part of the logo.
I don't.
But she went back and found like the trademark and copyright documents of them describing the logo, and it says like these certain fruits and the cornucopia in parentheses the horn of plenty in the background. So she found the government documents that says that was part of the logo for the trademark. So she's like, this is how everyone as a kid learned what that fucking thing was. Like, Mom, what's that? And like point to the basket behind the fruit. Like, that's a cornucopia.
So I learned about it from Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Thanksgiving. It's between the two. I don't remember.
But and see, when you first said Fruit of the Loom, though, I thought about the really old commercials where they had people dressed up as the different fruits.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I always picture the apple.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I thought of those.
Yeah.
But so what she's doing is she's in like a battle with Fruit of the Loom. She's playing chicken heavily. So she started her own clothing company with t-shirts, hoodies, sweaters, and it says it has the old Fruit of the Loom logo that she actually went in her closet and found an old shirt that actually has that logo that she's talking about.
All right.
So she used that logo from that shirt because Fruit of the Loom is claiming that they didn't ever use that.
Well, if Fruit of the Loom never used it like they say, then they should have no problem with her using it.
That's what she's playing. So she started all this stuff, like massive logo in the front, and under it, like there's a big circle around it. Under it, it says, "Mom, what is that?" She goes, "One of two things is going to happen. Either I'll make a lot of money with these shirts, or I'm going to get sued and have a cease and desist from Fruit of the Loom because
then
that's
they
their
would have
logo.
to admit that they used it.
Which then they would have to admit they used it. And this is where she wins on either side. She said in that video that her therapist told her to drop this, which to me, that's now over the line of obsession. If your therapist is telling you to fucking let something go, now it's unhealthy obsession. So if they sue her for a cease and desist, and that's our trademark, and yes, you're right, we did use this in the past, now she can countersue for fucking mental duress.
Well, maybe.
Because it's already documented that her fucking therapist told her to stop.
Maybe big underwear got to her therapist.
Shaq just knocked on the door. Because wasn't Shaq a Fruit of the Loom? No, it was Haynes. When Haynes went tagless.
I know Jordan was Haynes. They
What
always had the
was
Jordan
Shaq?
commercials, and it showed Jordan without the with. He'd go up. I think he was on like an airplane. They showed him. Maybe Shaq did it too, but Jordan actually snagged a tag off of somebody's shirt saying "Go tagless."
I was sure Shaq did. Apparently not.
I know for sure Jordan did.
It might be Jordan I'm thinking of. It was one of the really fucking good basketball players from back in the day.
Well, that would definitely fall under Jordan.
Yeah.
Of course, when it comes to Jordan, I'm more of his shoes than the underwear he hawks.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I guess it wasn't what I'm thinking of. Damn. Shaq's been working the fuck out. Like, he's got a 6-pack.
I got a 6-pack too.
Yeah, in the fridge.
It's Dr. Pepper. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot about it. Yeah.
He said he wants to lose 20 more pounds with a specific goal in mind to do an underwear ad with my sons. So maybe I'm remembering the future again. Because that happens sometimes to me. It's weird.
That just sounds weird.
Well, I mean,
hey kids,
supporting family.
Let's get in our underwear.
I mean, look at how cheesy and corny all the fucking old Fruit of the Loom and Haynes commercials were. They were all like family oriented kind of shit. Like, come down on Christmas morning in like a t-shirt and like boxer briefs or some shit.
Yeah, well,
that's what they all used to be. I'm like, it's a family thing, because that shows that they have stuff for every age, sex, and size.
Yeah, true.
So, if it's, I don't know how big Shaq's kids are.
I know when I was growing up though, Fruit of the Loom, it was the thought was always tidy whities. Yeah, I never really thought of their other products.
Shaq's kids' height.
Would it be weird if he did it with his kids with underoos?
Holy fuck. Okay, well, never mind.
What?
I was gonna say maybe it'll show that they have sizes for everyone. Shaq's kids are fucking huge.
Yeah.
The shortest one in this picture, I think, is his wife, comes up to his shoulder. All the rest are at or above his shoulder line. That is large.
Yes.
That is a big family in several ways. Because I think that's 6 kids.
Well, they have to do the commercials so then they can get custom made so they'll fit.
That's actually, Shaq is a really fucking good person.
Oh, I know.
One of the things that he does is like kids that are like grow way too fucking fast. And like there was a kid that wanted to play basketball or like do whatever. It had nothing to do with he wanted to play basketball and Shaq's a basketball player, but I think this kid wore 18s.
Yeah.
Or some shit. And like he couldn't, like he had to cut open the front of shoes because he couldn't fucking get any shoes that were 18s. Shaq invited him, like flew him out to his custom shoemaker and had like 15, 20 pairs of shoes made for the kid.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've heard that he's a great guy. I hear that he does a lot of nice things.
Yeah,
he's one of the celebrities I was telling you about that I saw a video talking about that.
He'll find people in Walmart and be like, "Hey, go ask your parents if I can buy you all this shit." He doesn't say shit, but and like they come back and they're like, "What do you mean?" Like, "No, you didn't just see Shaq." And he's like, "No, come on." So they come over and they're like, "Oh my god, it's Shaq!" They're like, "Yeah, like load up the cart and like groceries, a bicycle, like toys, like hella shit. Just like load up 2 carts and I'll pay for all of it." I'm like, that's dope.
I once had a pair of his Reeboks when he was still playing for Orlando, and I loved those shoes. They were cool, and they were also the pump, the Reebok pump.
I think I remember those.
Yeah, pump it up and
yeah.
But I specifically had the Shaq ones.
They're not as good as the PF Flyers, but they're close.
No, I liked them a lot.
PF Flyers made you run faster and jump higher.
I shouldn't run any faster. I'll catch on fire.
Definitely are not remembering The Sandlot.
No.
Have you seen The Sandlot?
I have seen it, but it's been a long time.
Okay.
But if I run any faster, the friction is going to cause me to catch on fire. So.
Jesus Christ. Let's see. I have a couple other notes. There's a thing going around again about apparently this happened like years ago, but somebody at work was just telling me about it, that there was a perfectly square cloud in Arizona, and like it's coming out again like it just happened again. So I don't know if it's just resurfacing or if
Probably
it happened
just
again.
resurfacing.
But it's like somebody on the ground recording of like, what the fuck? Like this isn't normal. And it looks up and it's like blue skies. And then it pans over to like exactly what the ceiling would look like. If the ceiling like took this square, well, obviously not that part, but if you took a square room ceiling and just popped it in the sky as a cloud, that's what it looked like. Like hard 90-degree angles, hard edges, hard cuts.
I've never seen that.
And then it cut to like a short picture or video from an airplane of the top of it. And it looked the same. And it was like, what the fuck is this? Like UFO or this or that or whatever. So like I looked it up just before we started recording so that I could talk a little bit about it. And it was like, one was brought up like a year and a half ago. One was like 5 years ago. Like, I don't know if it just randomly resurfaces like some stuff.
If it's all from the same area, I'm guessing it resurfaced.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're.
Well, I just typed Arizona.
Unless Arizona just keeps getting clouds like that and nobody else does.
Well, I mean, Arizona has a lot of desert and like a lot of the, just like the Lovelock caves have that like massive mythology behind it and the lore of the giants that they found in one of the caves. Like Arizona has a lot of shit, a lot of story behind a lot of the desert places around it.
Have you ever heard of the Cardiff Giant?
Is that somewhere in like Cardiff, England?
Well, they found what they said was a giant.
Is that in England?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then they took it over
I know that
to,
from Torchwood, a really good series.
But they took it over to New York, this guy, to the state of New York, not the city. And they had it on display. Well, I don't want it's upstate New York is where it was at. I don't want people to think I'm saying it was in New York City.
They took it to Las Vegas.
They took it
Nevada,
to
not New Mexico.
But he had it. They had it on display, and he charged people to come in to see this giant, and people are going in, going, "Ooh, it's a giant! Oh my god, it's so scary!" And then it came out later that it was a hoax. It wasn't real at all.
So did he get sued for charging people?
Probably, but it was so many years ago. It wasn't like social media and everything. So,
okay.
So they still had people going that hadn't heard the news that. In reality, no, this is not a real giant.
Yeah.
Yeah. But have you ever seen there was a movie where they referred to it, but they weren't actually talking about the giant. They used it as a name. It was unusual.
Huh.
And one day I heard about it again, so I looked it up.
That's interesting. I am still hungry because I forgot to eat. This being sick is miserable. But yeah, so like there's weird shit that happens with like clouds and weather and like all kinds of shit. There's weird stuff that happens. Maybe there was a square cloud. Like maybe there's chances for a lot of stuff to happen. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Believe it or not, there are odds that your t-shirt comes out of the dryer completely folded.
Yeah. Now that the odds on that are pretty long because I've never actually had that.
Let's see. What are the odds? A t-shirt comes out of the dryer.
Did you feel any tremors last week? Any earthquake
tremors? My God, I forgot to fucking look that up. It was a massive earthquake. Massive.
I forgot. I tried to look it up, but I didn't see it. But I felt it. I was laying in bed, and it felt really weird.
Even if, blah blah blah. This is on Reddit, so it should have decent data.
I was gonna say that if it's on Reddit, then it must be spot on.
If the theory of infinite probability is true, then at least once in history, whether it has happened yet or not, there was or is going to be a dryer cycle that ends in all the clothes being perfectly folded. See, I just want one.
Yeah, just one would be.
I just want one. And then this guy, this guy posted a picture of like that this is going to happen. And somebody goes, my luck, it would happen like that in the washer. Somebody goes, I'd let it sit there for 2 days until it dried too. If it happened in the washer.
But in infinite universes, that means that someplace there's another universe where it happens all the time.
Yeah.
And people there are probably taking it out and unfolding it because it's inconvenient to them in some way.
So if I was drying 10 shirts for 45 minutes, what would be the probability of them all being folded and stacked in the dryer after the dry cycle is over? And nobody's given a number answer. I thought there was an answer, like a solid answer.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't even know how to work that.
Yeah, that's why I looked. Because there's a lot more probability focused people than me. Yeah, that I don't know. So I was reading something. I found a video of like early Jeff Bezos talking about the first order that was placed on Amazon. Have you heard about that?
No.
It's very interesting. So it actually came from Bulgaria. The order did.
Oh, I was going to say, so he remembers my order. That's so nice of him.
It was in 1995. It might have been the first order that was over $100 or something.
Yeah.
But it was a $200 order. It happened within the first 6 months of starting Amazon in 95 and from Bulgaria. So they shipped Bezos as they shipped Amazon a package that had a floppy disk in it. And on the label on the floppy disk, it said slide open the floppy disk and there's $200 in here. The port authorities in Bulgaria steal money and can't read English. That's fucking genius.
Yeah.
So if they had just shipped $200 in an envelope, they never would have hit them. They never would have got to Amazon. Like hide it inside a floppy disk.
That's awesome.
With a note in English because they know the port authority can't read English. That's fantastic.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
That's a great story.
I like that. But yeah, I didn't buy my first Amazon until I actually moved to Vegas. When I lived in Omaha, I never used it, but I always heard commercials for it. And they were always advertising selling books. It wasn't.
Yeah, well, at the beginning, it was only books. Can you still look back at your earliest order?
It should be in your history.
Your orders. Let's go back and see what our first Amazon orders were. Mine goes all the way back to 2008.
It would have to be back to the first order. I mean, I'll have to check.
Mine, I bought Gears of War 2 limited edition, Gears of War 2 Amazon exclusive, the Lancer, on August 26th of 2008.
I have no idea because mine's not wanting to load right now.
Yeah, you just go to orders.
I know, but
okay.
I'm trying to bring. I open up the app and it's just.
Oh. Yeah, orders, filter, and then all the way down. I thought I bought stuff before 08 on Amazon. I think I was on eBay before then, and I think eBay got rid of that history.
Yeah,
because I've had an eBay account I think since I was like 14.
I've had an eBay account for a long time, and I haven't bought anything in a long time, but I hit like 100 different positive.
Yeah, I think I'm at like 500 something right now.
But I only bought. I never sold anything, but I got the because they had levels for it.
Yeah.
And I got my star for 100.
Nice. Yeah, I used to buy skateboard decks, blanks, because skateboarding was so fucking expensive to do anything with. And I found on eBay you can buy like between 5 and 10 decks at a time and get them for like $15 a deck. So, and they were like $40 or $50 at the store. So I'd buy like 8 or 9 decks. I'd keep one, have a brand new deck, and then sell the rest to all my friends and their friends at like $30 a pop, and was making lots of money.
Nice.
IRS, don't come after me. I was 14 or 15.
Looks like my first order was in 2005.
Oh, okay.
It says here Amazon wireless insert. I don't know what the hell that was. I click on it, it's nothing.
Mike was one of the first Neuralink people. We got the Amazon wireless insert in 05. I thought something was off.
But the first item that I bought that actually shows something was the Motorola Razr V3.
I remember it.
And I thought it was a cool phone. Back then it was.
What year was that?
2005.
Okay. I think my first... Do you remember all the phones you had?
Most of them, yeah. But and then after that, the next one that shows something that I bought besides the phone was a Family Guy, Stewie's Guide. Family Guy, live in Las Vegas.
What is that? I've never heard of that one.
That was a CD. It had
okay.
Had show tunes and stuff that's sung by the characters. And then 2006, I was more active. But yeah, it goes all the way back to 2005. That was when I first started shopping on Amazon.
That's cool.
I became a Prime member before most, back when Prime was cheaper, and it didn't even have
Prime was
video.
like $5 a month or something. I don't remember. I'll
It
have
was
to
like
ask my mom.
$76.
Yeah.
But it was, I did it for the shipping.
Yeah, I'll have to ask my mom because I know she bought stuff long time ago. So I'll check when I'm in Vegas next week.
But yeah, I shop on there every so often. Sometimes I'll buy a bunch of stuff at once, and other times I'll go drought without buying anything.
Yeah. There was something else I was going to talk about.
I'm surprised they don't check on me. Are you okay? You haven't opened up your app in a while. Well, they used to have the Prime deal of the day. I used to check that every day because sometimes it was something really good.
I do remember that. I also remember Woot. Woot is a clearance site that like a lot of like they would buy like an overstock of whatever. Like people are like, fuck, we need to get rid of this. Just sell all 100 of these, whatever the fuck, to whatever company, and they'll buy it for like a tenth of the price.
Wasn't there two of them? Wasn't it Woot Woot?
No, it was just Woot.
I know.
And then so they'd sell it for like a quarter of the price. So you're getting a smoking deal, and they're still making a lot of money. So they were doing this for a long time, and I fucking loved their website. Like that's where I bought that $10,000 weatherproof TV for $1,000 that I ended up never hooking up at the house in Vegas because I was going to make like an outside video game thing that you can play from the pool.
Yeah.
And I ended up trading that $600 I paid for a dirt bike that I traded for a street bike. I traded that street bike and that TV for a $10,000 truck. $1,600.
Nice.
Yeah. So like that's all kinds of deals all the fucking time on that site.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you sent me a message one day when they had a deal on something else.
And Amazon bought them. I don't know when, but it was good for them. But now they don't have great deals. Now they have good deals.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Amazon can make fucking more money. Amazon buys Woot.
Woot.
$110 million.
And they bought Woot for some loot.
In 2010. I didn't know they bought it all the way back in 2010.
Oh, neither did I. I remember seeing Woot a lot. They used to advertise a lot.
Yeah. Pile them high, sell them cheap was their business reputation. But yeah, $110 million in 2010. For that, good for them, bro. Did you know speaking of selling companies, there's 3 brothers, I think it was Germany, that I think when Uber started, they said, hey, bring Uber to Europe and let us run it and pay us X amount.
Mm-hmm.
They said, absolutely not. They said, okay, how can we figure this out? So they took Uber, broke it down, made their own, called Easy Taxi.
Yeah.
And then started it in Europe almost immediately. And then sold it to Uber when Uber went worldwide for like $150 million.
Nice.
And then they were like, bro, we did it once. Let's do it again. That's all they've done for the past like 10 to 15 years.
Damn.
Is find a company that's starting up and like super promising. Ask them first, bring it over here, let us run it, pay us this amount.
Mm-hmm.
And when they say no, it's not going to be a if. When they say no, okay, we gave you the option. Build a competitor, ramp it up.
Yeah.
And then it gets absorbed and you cash out. That's brilliant.
That's a great idea.
Brilliant. And then I started thinking, how can you do that here?
Yeah, I was just thinking that too.
So,
but I always, whenever I think of Uber, one of the things that comes to mind is when I was working for Olive Garden, I was delivering food to like the corporate foods. It'd be a big catering order, and we had an order. I had to deliver to the Uber headquarters in Las Vegas, and I just thought it was funny because they had Uber Eats at the time.
Yeah, but they
had me delivering it to them. Yeah,
that's great.
So they tipped well, so that was good.
That's weird because they don't pay their drivers tips very well.
Yeah,
or now they do. They didn't used to. Didn't they used to like half it? And they got in trouble for that.
I'm not sure, but I just know that they got a big order too, so they tipped pretty well. But yeah, I had to. I didn't know that they had a headquarters there, to be honest, until I had to go to it.
I think a lot of people have like corporate headquarters. I'm trying to do air quotes under the blanket. I think a lot of people have corporate headquarters in a lot of major cities.
Yeah.
Like whether it's a couple people that are in a small office or not, I think they have just so that they can be like a local business for whatever.
I delivered to a slot machine place. They had all the slot machines, the video poker machines.
IGT.
There might have been another one. There's more than one, but
Yeah.
I delivered it, and they had a lot of some cool slots. I'm like, I haven't even seen these yet.
Yeah, they're constantly like R&D and new slots.
Yeah,
Constantly.
I was like, I want to play that one.
This one might have to be a short episode. Not like right now, but
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know that I'm going to do another 30 minutes.
You're not seeming to do very well right now.
Yeah, because the aches are setting in even worse on my back. I put a note: falling asleep playing video games from what you were saying last week.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you're listening in order, this is 2 weeks ago conversation. So I used to fall asleep playing video games. I still sometimes do, but I haven't played on a console in a while, so it hasn't happened very often. But I used to, like, when I'd fall asleep, you would know, because like it would often be playing Halo.
Yeah.
You would know because I would be spinning around shooting into the air. Because I would just like sticks in when I fall asleep.
Yeah.
And then it started being like walking forward shooting, like left to right.
Mm-hmm.
So like evolving how I fall asleep playing video games to apparently play better. And then I think it was 2011 when LA Noire came out. I don't know why I remember that time, because it was the year before I went to E3. That's why. 2011, LA Noire came out. I was super fucking excited for it.
Yeah, I was too.
It's a detective, like super open world detective game that
I was excited for it too.
Like observe everything, like super fucking fine point details. And I stayed awake. I can't even fucking talk right now. I stayed awake for the midnight release.
Mm-hmm.
Got home, started playing it, and I think at like 1:30 or 2:00, I had to have fallen asleep because I remember being on like level 3.
Did you beat the game while you were asleep?
I went 4.5 levels.
Wow.
While I was fucking sleeping.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, so I woke up and I'm like, oh, okay, like I'll keep playing. I remember I was talking to this guy. I'm like, where the fuck am I? Like, this isn't where I remember. So like I pull up the menu and like the list of stuff you have to do and this and that. Bro, where, like, you're at this level. I'm like, look up online. I'm like, there's somebody that's already beat it.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's about 3.5 to 4 hours between that level to this level. How the fuck did I play a fairly intricate game?
I have no idea how that would happen.
Sleeping. I don't even think I was drinking. Just sleeping.
But I will say this, though. When you're playing Halo and you fall asleep, it'd be very embarrassing for the other person to get killed by the person who fell asleep.
Oh, I'm sure it happened. I'm sure it happened.
Somebody either in front of you or jumps in overhead when you're spinning around shooting up.
Yeah. That I'm sure it's happened a couple times.
But it's happened to me a couple times where I've been playing Zelda. I've been laying down playing Zelda and I doze off some and then I wake up and then my character's just walking through a field or walking into. Fortunately, it's never been where I've like walked into a thing of monsters and gotten killed. But
walk into a river of lava.
Yeah, that could happen.
I'm really glad video games and technology has come as far as it has. With, like, I was talking to a couple of people. I was talking to Peter about it, of playing Gears of War like back in the day. Like when I first got Gears of War, I didn't like it. Like the playstyle felt weird. Like I don't even think I finished the first level, and I returned it to GameStop.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's not for me. Like, let me get a couple other games.
So you did stop your game and give it back to GameStop.
Yeah, exactly.
It was GameStop.
Stop, and then give it back. It was actually EB Games at the time. So
yeah, it's still the same company.
Yeah. Well, it didn't used to be.
Yeah.
So, what was I going with that?
Like games have improved and they're much better than they used to be.
So then I started doing a couple of, I beat like Perfect Dark Zero. I was starting to like Halo because that was the first time I went to Xbox, because I sold my PS2 and traded in all the PS2 games to get a 360. And I'm pretty sure the manager doesn't work there anymore.
Yeah.
But I went in there every day when I was working at the grocery store for like 3 months or whatever. But I would go in and like hang out at the EB Games. And I wasn't 17 yet. And I think it was like a day before I turned 17 or like something.
Yeah.
And he sold me like all of these fucking mature games. I'm like, bro, you know, he goes, don't say it out loud. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
So I used to go to in Vegas. I used to it was on Windmill. I used to go to Game Crazy a lot.
Yeah.
I,
There
I
was
I like that better than the GameStop across the street by a lot.
there was a Game Crazy on like Boulder and Lake Mead, but it felt like a Spencer's. It was weird. I didn't like it.
I know the people who were in there. They knew me. They could recommend games to me.
Yeah.
And the one across the street, it was like you'd walk in. First of all, it was a GameStop. It was a small store.
Yeah.
You'd walk in and there'd be kids everywhere, just running back and forth, and you're like about to trip
Really?
over them. Yeah, there was. It was.
I might have seen that like 3 times at GameStop, and it's in a mall.
Yeah, it was. It was not good. So I used to go to, like I said, Game Crazy, and then plus since they were owned by also Hollywood Video,
Yeah.
they could actually sell the games that they used to rent,
Yeah.
and you could get them for cheap.
I think that was what the one on Boulder and Lake Mead was it was a combo store.
Yeah, because it was both the same company.
Yeah. And it was like a night and day difference. Like there's a Hollywood Video and it's bright and welcoming.
Oh yeah,
And then there's a line and it's a fucking Spencer's of like just dingy fucking like metal cages. Like, why is this weird change here? This isn't necessary.
see the one that I used to go to was not like it was actually pretty. It was pretty good, but yeah, there was a big difference when you'd walk, and there was just a doorway in between the two.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even like a doorway. Well, like an open doorway. Yes.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. But what I was getting at with like the technology changes was that like when I got Gears of War again, because he's like, I really think you'll like it, and I think you should try it again. I'm like, all right, fine, give me the game. So I take it home and play it, and fucking like fall in love instantly.
I loved playing the Horde.
I'm like, why the fuck didn't I like this? And then so I start playing online and start doing really well. And then my older sister started playing online, and she met a couple guys from it was the Oh Yeah clan, AYC, and I started playing with them. They're like, bro, like, you're fucking good. Like, you should join us. Like, all right, cool. So we started playing clan battles.
Yeah.
And started just destroying. And the only way that you could like capture clips then was you had to have a fucking capture card.
Yeah.
That you had. So you had your 360. You had the component or the red, white, and yellows coming off the back.
Mm-hmm.
Run it through a capture card that's hooked up to a laptop or a computer right there, and then to your TV. So several things. One, now you don't have, it matters sometimes. Now you don't have the instantaneous response that you should have because it has to run through a capture card. And two, it's an extra piece of fucking, like, they were like $800. Like the 360 was like $200. I
remember seeing them for sale, yeah.
Capture cards were like $600 or $800 for a decent one.
And now you just push a button.
Yeah, now I accidentally clip shit all the time on my computer because I have it hotkeyed to like Alt S.
Yeah.
And like I'll do a couple things and like switch over and like drop ammo and it's like clip captured. Like fucking stop.
Yeah. Every once in a while when I'm playing, they don't have the video, but every once in a while I'll be trying to hit one button and I'll accidentally hit the screenshot picture, and I get a picture on my screen. I'm like, that's not what I was shooting for. I was trying to bring up the map, not trying to take a picture.
So like when I was growing up, I was still 17 when I was doing all that. If I had better sportsmanship, because I was an angry child, very angry. Like a lot of people were like, bro, I don't know how you can string together so many cuss words yelling at someone and it all makes sense. I don't want to meet you in person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thanks. That's not a compliment. But also like my parents were super strict. So like if I went pro, like have to travel and do all that, it was a probably no, you can't. So like if those two things were different, it'd probably been a way different life.
Yeah.
And then like that's one of the frustrating things to me now of playing video games is like it used to be very apparent.
See, if you went pro, then maybe one day the president would call you and have you go to the White House and save the world from aliens that are turning everything into video games.
But like it used to be very apparent like how you could get better at a game. Of like, oh, okay, well he killed me this way, and then like watch the kill cam or watch somebody else play for a little bit, and be like, oh, okay, so I need to learn this movement, and I can do this, and I can do this, and I'll be better. So like I was improving all the time. Like I knew how to do all the hacks in Gears of War just in case somebody else did the crab walk. Which, if nobody's familiar with video games or crab walks, you don't have to listen to this part. But it was basically like you go into cover on a doorway and you roll into cover on the other side of the doorway, and right before you get there, you pull the left stick back to jump out. And then you jump into a crab walk, which is like 1.7 times the speed of running, and you can shoot while you're running.
Yeah.
So, like, just wall bouncing, I could normally kill somebody in a crab walk. But if there was the whole team crab walking, I would get into a crab walk, kill all of them. And then there's like, there was spots you could get onto the map in most of the maps. And like the only time I did was, and you can shoot up from the bottom of the map and kill people. So, like, the only time I would do that is when there's someone under the map.
Yeah. Well, the thing I like about games now is that there's different ways you can do things. You don't have to do it the set way. Like I was playing Zelda this morning, and
like the different options because of how you can make stuff.
Well, yeah, that, and like I go into this room and you're in a cage. You're supposed to get to the shrine at the end of it, and you're supposed to get over this cage. Now there's different ways you can do it. Now me, when I walked into it, I'm like, I'm not going to fucking take the time to look around. I grabbed a balloon and I just floated up and I glided down. And then I was like, I'm curious what the other people did. Apparently there was a board on the side of the thing that you just move with your ultra hand, set it up on top, then you can extend through it and be on top of it and jump off. But me, I just, like I said, I just used an octopus.
Well, and see, that's the unique part of that game. And this is one of the reasons I stopped liking video games for a while, is Zelda is unique because you can do all of that.
Yeah.
And no other video game can you really do much of that. Gears of War had a very unique play style that started like, it was kind of blocky and wasn't super refined, but it felt good once you learned how to do it.
Yeah.
And Call of Duty had its own that's basically stayed the same, and like it's gotten a little more fluid over the years, but it just feels eh.
But even going back to like Grand Theft Auto 3, I would see the way people would pass certain missions, and I'd be like, oh, that's interesting. I did it way different than that. Yeah. I like my idea better.
Yeah.
Like my idea would be much better.
But what I'm getting at with the movement is like slowly over time, like Gears of War 2 fucked up a lot of the movement than Gears of War 1 had. Like you can't wall bounce as well. You can't do a lot of the stuff that you used to do. And they've made it so that okay, maybe it's a good business move because they made it so more people can enjoy everything. Yeah. But the people that were very serious about it started hating it.
Of course.
Gears of War 3 was worse. Gears of War 4 and 5 was slightly worse. And like I stopped playing. I played 5 for like a week because I had a free trial. Yeah. I'm like, no, absolutely not. And then like Call of Duty is the same of like it's slowly progressed. And then like Halo has changed a little bit, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Like, that's still fairly fun. Assassin's Creed, as much as I really fucking don't like the battle mechanics, the combat mechanics,
yeah.
I 100% respect that they stuck with how they are.
Oh yeah.
They have not changed one fucking thing. Like they've improved it a little, but they haven't changed how it works.
They came out with one game recently that's supposed to be a bit different.
Saga.
That'll make people unhappy, but they're bringing out 2 games. So one's going to keep the same formula, but I guess the other one's going to be somewhat different. I don't know. That's what I
didn't know that.
About. Yeah. I'd seen something about that online recently.
But it's like from 2007 to now, that's 16 years that they've stayed the same.
Oh, I know.
Like other than Mario, that might be the longest fucking, like we stayed the same ever.
Yeah.
And it's hard for Mario to change.
Yeah.
Because it's a side scroller where you jump.
Well, they've got the 3D, they've got the Paper Mario, they've done some.
Yeah, but those are different variations.
Mario RPG.
Like they have like Assassin's Creed,
Mario
like
Kart.
The comic, the novel.
Yeah.
The graphic novel fucking games that are a little bit different, but they're different on purpose.
But Mario, I like the Mario Kart a lot.
Mario Kart was great.
But I was saying about like Grand Theft Auto, like there's a mission where you have to kill these delivery trucks for the fish company. They're ran by the triads, and like I would see people trying to kill these trucks. There's 3 of them you have to get, and they're getting out of their car and shooting at them and chasing them and hitting them with their car. And I'm like, you know, you can do drive-bys, right? You pull right beside it and you shoot it and you shoot it and you shoot it. Then when you see it catch on fire, you drive away.
Yeah.
And then it blows up. And then it's like, oh, you got that one done. And you're on your way to the next car.
That's one of my favorite things to do. And I wanted to work in video games for a long time. Like that was the first thing I tried to do in college. Maybe second. And I was gonna work at 2K Games as a video game tester,
Yeah.
and then was like, nah, I'm gonna go to school in Phoenix and do whatever. So, but is in Halo 3, there's the Easter egg skulls that you can find, and you have to like, it's pretty intricate, like how you have to get to a lot of them. And a lot of them are like, oh, well, you have to grenade jump, you have to rocket jump, you have to this, you have to that, and you have to this, you have to that. So my thing, I'm really good at breaking video games. I always have been. So I found ways to get the Warthog or the Mongoose, which is the quad or the full size SUV for anybody that doesn't know Halo, with the minigun on the back, to the skulls. I would drive it down like through the caves that you're not supposed to be able to get it to, or Ghost. Because like if you break the wings off a Ghost, you can fit it through a hallway like sideways and like just slow boost it. So I got to most of the skulls with a vehicle.
Nice.
And then took pictures. Or I think the 360 you could take a screenshot, but you couldn't capture. Yeah. So I took screenshots and then like uploaded all those, because I used to be super active on the Halo and the Bungie forums. Mm-hmm. They're like, you can't get that there. I'd upload the screenshot. What now?
Yeah.
Like what's this?
Looks like I'm there.
Yeah, looks like it.
You see, that's the other thing is it used to be though with Easter eggs. Like there's one in Grand Theft Auto 3 where you have to get a truck, pull it up to this wall, jump over the wall, and get over the other side and see. Like you can't walk around the corner and be behind this wall.
Yeah,
you literally have to go over it. When you go over the other side, you see it's like graffiti on the wall saying, "You're not supposed to be here." That's an Easter egg. Yeah. But nowadays it's like, oh, there's an Easter egg. Did you see it? It's a billboard. It looks like Miami. It's like, no, that's not a fucking Easter egg.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this Easter egg you just tripped over. It's a fucking cassette tape that has the theme song for X and Y.
This thing that happened in the beginning credits, it just smacked you in the face. Yeah. It's an Easter egg. No, it's not.
No, like
Easter eggs are hidden.
It used to be like during the beginning credits, you have to hit a certain button sequence that only, definitely not filling in those blanks. Fill in whatever blanks of describing words that you want to of people would be able to find on accident and remember what buttons they hit in what order.
Yeah.
And then they were like, bro, do this. You won't believe what happens.
Yeah. Or like I said, like there's one where you had to jump from one building and hit the other building just right. And you go through this window and in there was literally an Easter egg. And it said Easter egg on it.
I think there was one of the skulls that was painted like an Easter egg, because like each skull in Halo was something different too. Like you would have birthday party grunt that like when you headshotted grunts, it just pop and confetti and wee.
I mean, I like how they have some things in like Grand Theft Auto where you'll be driving along and there'll be I think it's in 3, you see a billboard and it has it looks like an advertisement to visit Florida. And it says on it, welcome to Vice City. And the next game to come out was Vice City. Mm-hmm. That was cool, but I still wouldn't call that an Easter egg because it's right there.
Yeah, no.
You don't have to look for it. You don't have to do anything tricky to get to it.
I mean, there's harder Easter eggs than others. Like if it's not like part of a mission, I think it can be considered that, but it's not a good one.
If it's just there.
Yeah, but it's not a good one.
No. I mean, like a lot of times, especially in that part of Liberty City, I'm driving along. I'm usually doing a mission and fighting things and trying not to get killed. Yeah. So I'm not really looking at the billboard anyway.
Well, there you go. So now it's an Easter egg. It's not somewhere you normally look.
But it's right there. I mean,
walk yourself into that one.
It's not far from the airport.
Which
I didn't like in Grand Theft Auto 3. They had one airplane you could get, and you had to drive it back to another garage to finish a list of cars you stole. But this thing was called.
You had to drive the airplane?
Yes, because it was a Dodo.
Jesus Christ!
So it didn't have wings, and it would go up. Like you're driving along and you want to keep it on the ground, and the thing would just start to go up. Like, that was the first time I tried to do it. It actually went up and went right off the side of the bridge. So I had to do it all over again. I eventually got it.
3 miles an hour.
Oh, it sucked. And then the bridge is a drawbridge where the middle of it goes up and down.
Mm-hmm.
But when they had the definitive edition,
you just fell through the bridge.
Yeah.
I remember the video you sent.
And that pissed me off. Because like in the first game, the original, you could drive up the bridge and see where it was blocked off when you couldn't go over the other island. But this one, I went up to go see that, and yeah, I couldn't go over the other island, but I also couldn't stay on the bridge.
If you don't mind staying, we'll watch a movie that just finally came out on Netflix. It's fuck. I can't think of the name. I'll have to look it up. So Zack Snyder, very famous director, took an idea for a movie to Disney.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah, it's actually out now.
Nice.
It came out, I think, last Thursday. Either like a couple days ago or last week. So it's out now. If you want to watch that.
Are you gonna be up for it? I mean, because you're
like sitting there not doing anything, probably.
Because you might fall asleep.
I feel like miserable awake. I don't feel miserable asleep.
All right.
Let's see, Zack Snyder, Rebel Moon. Yeah, those definitely weren't any of the words I was thinking of. Fuck.
When you said Zach, in my mind I kept thinking Galifianakis. Completely different person.
Very different.
Yeah.
Very.
Both talented in their own way, though.
Yeah, so we'll watch Rebel Moon, and then next recording that drops, we'll be talking about it because it'll be like a week after I get back from Vegas.
Yeah. Well, we've got the episode that comes out this week. How many? I don't even know how many.
We're technically 2 ahead right now.
Yeah.
So this one that we're recording comes out the 8th. So the one that we recorded 2 weeks ago comes out next week when I'm in Vegas.
Yeah.
And then this one will be the week I get back from Vegas. And then we'll record one. We'll still be one ahead.
Yeah.
Because that one time when we were just bullshitting and I was drunk and we're like, yeah, let's do another one. Like, yeah. I think it was fucking good.
I thought so too.
Yeah. Tell us what you want us to talk about. And everything's been so fucking busy and dumb. We're working on getting back on the reels and clips.
I figured we'd wait till after the new year before we got back to that, because you'll be out of town. And
well, we should definitely do it because it's $60 a month for fucking having all that shit uploaded.
Yeah, we should definitely.
So
time for Wapner.
Yeah, we need to at least like go through and download them, even if we don't upload them.
Yeah,
we'll go through, watch, and download a bunch in this last like week of this year.
Yeah.
So we'll figure it out. Tell people about us, share stuff. Don't get sick. It's fucking bad.
Stay healthy. If you want. Do what you want. I'm not going to tell you what to do like Jeremy just did.
I honestly think it's all the sugar that I had this past week. Because I've been really good about fucking not having sugar. And then, like, oh, here's Christmas. Like, I didn't gorge myself, but it was definitely more than I normally have. And it's, like, if you look at the timing on people getting sick, it's normally within the, like, week or two after Halloween. Or, like, when they eat fucking pounds of sugar.
Yeah.
And then around Christmas, they're like, oh, no, it's just flu season. No, you're fucking killing yourself.
Oh, I'm eating sugar all the time, so I don't succumb to that.
I built up an immunity to it. Okay, Mike. Yeah, do stuff, like stuff, share stuff, comment stuff, and
like, share. The share part. Don't forget to share. Make sure you share.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah, and goodbye.